Hello everyone, this is the first class. Here we're gonna learn how to remove the background. We're gonna use three tools in particular that I will show you so you can make up your mind and think what's the most suitable for you. So we got our subject right here. It's a black and white picture. I thought it was a great example. You see that I download this from Pexels. That's my favorite website personally. Alright, so let's start. The first tool will be the rectangular selection tool. So click on this one, copy your subject, just click it and drag it over to the new layer icon. Turn off the original one. Now select your subject. Pretty easy so far, huh? You may notice with this class that everything seems to be really easy and simple. I like to keep things like that because it's almost like a mantra, right? I like to think of Photoshop like a tool to make things easier and quicker for us. Alright, now the next step to remove the background now that the subject is already selected is to click on this remove background. Then you click on OK. Alright, you will find the remove background option under the properties panel, which is usually right here or below these icons on this area, or you can just go to window and find it there. Okay, now as you can see, it does a pretty good job on itself. It even keeps a lot of detail here and here, which is the most important reason why we're using these tools, because just using a regular mask or any other method makes things difficult to keep these details and keep the portrait alive for what it is. Even these little hairs right here, everything needs to stay. The clothes are not that difficult, as you would see later on. Okay, so that was the first method. Pretty good result so far with the hair. Let's try the second one with this one. Okay, so the next tool that we're gonna use is the object selection tool, which came with the 2020 version of Photoshop, if I'm not mistaken. It's pretty similar to the rectangular selection. Just click and drag to select your subject, and alright, there you have your selection. Now go to select and mask. Here's where you can adjust everything on your photo. I would advise you to do the following. Keep the transparency to 100, preset, leave it on default. Here, because it's a black and white photo, it's better if we put object aware. If you have a portrait with full colors, you can do color aware if you think it's better. Radius, I keep it on 1. And the rest of the stuff I normally won't touch it like at all, but you can change a couple of things such as the smoothness. I would put it mostly on like 15. Okay, let's put it like that, 15. Alright, next feather I would just leave it on 1.5. And the contrast, I don't think you will need to use that one, but let's just put it on, let's say 5%. No, that's too little, 20. Okay, now as you can tell, the hair is just not quite there. So my advice, if you want to do this manually, is to use this tool. It's this brush that's right here, the second one from the top to bottom, second one, right? So this is in order to improve these little edges right here. If you click and drag over the area that you want to add it, as you can see, it does a pretty good job erasing what you really don't need, but it's taking a lot of hair out. So If you don't like that one, just like it happened to me right now, you can press on Ctrl Z or Command Z and click on this one, Refine Hair. And Photoshop will automatically do the job for you. And as you can see, it's a pretty similar result, part of using this tool. Now, if you click on OK, you will see that you got your selection, so you can just apply a layer mask by clicking here, or Ctrl Z. You can literally Ctrl X to cut it out and Ctrl V to paste it on top. It's whatever suits best for you. Both of these methods work pretty well. Now, here's where you will notice the difference. So let's turn this one off and this one back on. Here you can tell that there's quite some more detail in here, and it even gives the personality that the portrait already has. But this one, it even looks like the guy is kind of bald, or he's just having a bad hair day. Alright, now that we saw these two methods and compare them between the two, I do think that the best one is this one so far. It's the one that has provided the best looking guy. Now, for the third one, this one I would recommend you to use it more with objects like, I don't know, a pencil, a fungus, flowers like you will see I really love, stuff like that. But with portraits, the hair is gonna be a nightmare. So basically, you're gonna use the pen tool, which is the hotkey to get it is the P. Alright. And if you know anything about Illustrator, it's basically just drawing around the edges, making a path, right? This tool, I would compare it to a cutter. If you ever use a cutter to cut a magazine or stuff like that, you would see that that's a way more accurate tool to use and cut something than the scissors. But just like a cutter, this one has some problems, which you will see in just a moment. So this is almost as precise as a surgery kind of tool, right? But the problem is this with the hair. It's just way too much, way too thin for you to cut it out properly. And even then, if you try to apply as much detail as this thing has, it may not give you the best result. So we're just gonna continue doing this until we manage to close our path and continue with our selection. We're almost there. Okay. Alright, done. Path is closed. So if you zoom out, you see our result. In order to cut this out, please go to Paths, which should be right here at the very top. Then, once that you see the path, please go down to this icon that has the dots. And there you go, you got your selection. So again, just a layer mask or Ctrl X, Ctrl V. Okay, so as you can see, the problem here is that you can't really cut hair that well with this tool. It looks really wonky, and compare it to these other results, they're just significantly better. So that's pretty much it. This is meant for you to get a hold of Photoshop and see how it makes your life easier, how it's a tool that makes the process faster for you. You can do it manually, of course, just apply a layer mask and paint it out, right? If you use the black color on your brush, you would see that you can erase parts of the photo. And if you're dedicated enough or you have a drawing tablet, which I don't have, you can get a pretty sick result. I'm sure of that, and I'm sure that some of you know how to use mask better than me. But for the end product that we're looking for and to teach how the tools work and how they can make your life easier and make process faster, I decided to show you those methods for you. It's up to you to decide which is the best and which one suits better your project. If you want to cut out anything that doesn't involve hair, maybe you're better off with the pen tool. If you want to cut out someone from a portrait or something like that, one of these like the object selection or just the rectangular one should be more than enough. Alright, so that's it for the first class. I hope you learned it. Now let's move on to the next one with colors.